One of the questions I've gotten asked the most throughout my 10 years in esports is, how do I break into the industry? This is also a topic that I absolutely love to talk about, so I figured I'd make a video on my top 5 tips for getting a job in esports. Tip number 1, do it for the love of esports. Esports is growing fast. It's an amazing industry and you definitely want to be part of it. That said, there's no quick money. You shouldn't be getting into the industry for money, fame, or to make a quick buck. If you don't have a lead or any experience to build on top of, I really wouldn't recommend quitting your day job or dropping out of school to try and pursue a full-time career in esports. Instead, I would highly recommend you build off a place of passion and start with esports as a hobby. When it's a hobby, you can get your name out there, you can get the experience you need, and then the job will come later. Tip number 2, volunteer your time. If you're still in high school or in college, or just now making a name for yourself in esports, volunteering might be the best route. Now, I know a lot of people might not necessarily like the idea of working for free, especially depending on your financial situation. But believe me when I say that many of the people that you maybe follow on social media or know in the esports scene made their way by volunteering first. Now, what do I mean by volunteering? I mean, find an organization that you really like or that you know. It could be a tournament organizer, it could be a team, it could be a community website, forum, or subreddit, it could be a Discord. Anything like this, or even a YouTube channel which you follow and creates very high quality esports content. Reach out to them. Figure out if there's anything that they need that they aren't able to get right now that maybe you can offer. Reach out and say, I'm willing to do that. If you do this, you will get your name out there, you will get experience, you will make connections, and this is a great way for anyone to start their career in esports. Now, compensation is possible in some of these cases, even if you're really early in your career. But my personal belief is that you should be willing to do a job, a volunteer job in esports without any promise of compensation because you have that passion for esports. Tip number 3, get your name out there. Now, this one sounds incredibly obvious. It is obvious. You have to get your name out there to really get your foot in the door. But especially in esports, when everyone is online, everyone is using social media, you have to find creative and good ways to get your name out there. So the first and most obvious is social media. At least in the Western world, everyone in esports uses Twitter. Twitter is the most common place to go. Everyone has a Twitter. So obviously you need to have a Twitter. Common practices I would recommend and best practices is, first of all, make sure that you're following all of the relevant people that you think are interesting, tastemakers, that you respect, that you think are pushing the industry forward. Follow them, interact with them, learn from them, stay on the beat by following them. Make sure to post your own thoughts too. If there's some news that just came out, why not add your voice to the chorus? Of course, hot takes are not always great, but you want to be part of that conversation. And of course, if you're a content creator, no better place to promote your stuff than on Twitter and social media in general. Number 2 is networking. You can't just go out and put your social media into the ether. You have to make personal, direct connections with folks that are maybe in a similar situation to you. You're not necessarily going to be able to reach that esports insider who's been doing this for a super long time and be best friends with them right off the bat. But what you can do is you can find a close-knit network of friends and peers and support them, and they will support you back in turn. Help each other grow. Now, this one was incredibly important for my personal career, as some friends that I made early on in esports opened absolutely every door for me. We all helped each other find opportunities. We all helped promote each other's work, and almost every one of my close early friends in esports is doing really, really well right now. The last part is travel to your local event. If you can make it out to your local esports event, That is another great place to volunteer time, but it's another great place to meet people. It is so important to make face-to-face connections with other people in esports. You have to do it. If you can afford it. Now, I'll give just a caveat that when I was in college, when I was trying to find my way in esports, I was lucky enough to have my parents foot the bill for college tuition and my housing. Not everyone's in that situation, but that allowed me to save up enough money to travel across the country to my first ever esports event at QuakeCon, which is where I met some of the people that completely opened the esports industry up to me. Also in those early days, I went to my local fighting game tournaments. I was not a fighting game player, just to meet the people, just to be part of the scene, just to know what was going on there. These were invaluable experiences that gave me the connections, the confidence, and the resume to move forward in my career. Number 4, figure out your niche. Don't worry if you don't know exactly what your specialty is. You might not have any idea of exactly what you want to do. But going back to my previous topics, if you're going out there and volunteering, if you're going out there and getting work done, you're going to start to figure out what you enjoy doing the most and what you're actually the best at. It's really important to actively try and figure out what your niche is. Sure, there are certain situations where being a jack of all trades is a viable career path. It happens. But I would highly recommend thinking about what do you like doing and what do you enjoy, what are you best at, and honing in on those skills. There's a lot of different opportunities in esports. You could be everything from a video editor to a graphic designer, a web or app developer to a UI UX designer. You could be a team manager or a player manager or even a talent manager. You could be a content creator who produces a podcast or a show for YouTube or a weekly live stream or even something like a newsletter. You have to think outside the box. You could go to events and shoot photos. Not that you can't look in other areas, but certainly these are jobs that are going to be in high demand in esports and outside as well. All right, next up we have tip number 5, build something. Now, not everyone has the drive or the know-how or even the desire to be an entrepreneur and create a company from scratch. That's not necessarily what I'm saying here, although it would be impressive and is definitely something you should pursue if you can, if you have the means and the desire to do so. What I will say is when I was at Twitch reviewing resumes and hiring people, I did not look at their school or even their work experience. I did not weigh that on the same level as I weighed what somebody has done and built just straight out of passion. If you see an opportunity, maybe there's a certain type of content that isn't being produced right now, the right top 10 highlights of the week or month or whatever. Maybe there isn't a great newsletter to help you follow the right content. Maybe you have a website or an app or a startup idea. Or maybe it's even something just as basic as there isn't a Discord for a certain type of esports fan from a certain community. If you go out there and create that, now getting your hands dirty, your idea, your contribution to the esports scene. Me as a hiring manager, that speaks volumes to your passion. Now, passion isn't everything when you're getting a job in esports. I would say in particular, over the last couple of years, there's more and more passionate folks out there and less jobs for them. People are indeed looking more towards folks with a business degree or financial modeling backgrounds as esports does evolve, but at least in my experience, as I grew up in esports, the peers who were the most successful, the way that I personally made my way into the industry was by getting my hands dirty and building something that needed to exist. So really, I want you to think on that, brainstorm, think about what doesn't exist that you wished did, and just go build it. And finally, the last bonus tip that I'm going to throw at you guys is not to give up. Persevere. Don't expect immediate returns when you first try to make your way in esports. It's going to be a long path, and you are going to have to prove your dedication. Don't get discouraged, though. It sounds cheesy, but I'll just go ahead and use the term or the phrase, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Make sure that you have a long-term vision and that you continue to do all the things I said in this video. Produce high-quality work. Continue to build strong contacts and nurture those contacts. Build your personal brand with social media, content production, going to events, traveling, meeting people face-to-face. If you do all of these things over a long enough period of time, believe me when I say you will get the opportunities that you deserve. Thank you guys so much for watching my first ever YouTube video. You probably noticed there's no subscribers on this channel. There's no videos on this channel yet. I've never done anything like this, so if you like the content, I'd really appreciate just hearing your feedback. Leave me a comment, give a like, give a subscribe. I have no idea what I'm going to continue to do here on YouTube, but I actually had a lot of fun writing this and producing this, and I hope you enjoyed watching it and maybe learned something too. So if you did, let me know, and maybe there will be more videos from an esports insider straight to you guys in the future. All right, thanks guys. Bye.